Hello stock traders, this should have been a very successful week if you were following this list. The insiders are hot. They're coming in hot, they're doing really well, and hopefully you made a lot of money this week. So let's get right to it because we have so much to cover. This is our weekly review. So this is the time when I review each and every pick and also give an average win rate and an average gain per pick. This should be pretty exciting. I definitely had a great week. So if you had all the stocks from pre-market Friday's video, then you would have had a 0.29% gain. So not a very good gain today, but man, what a week it has been. Personally, I had a 3.42% loss. I had a tougher day, but that did not get me down because I had one of the best weeks ever investing. So this was a really fantastic week for me personally. And what really powered it was month to date, the insiders off of this list are at a 22.10% gain. That's if you were in each and every one equally. So fantastic week for insiders. Year to date, I am at a 43.81% gain, doing extremely well and looking forward to capturing even more gains as we go through this week. We have so much to cover. I'm just going to quickly mention Webull. If you are looking for a powerful broker where you can trade in pre-market, when you can trade when others can't, please check out the link down below. There are free stocks that you can get for signing up, and also when you deposit money, it is a fantastic broker and I enjoy using it. All right, let's start with the premium level. So here we go. The very first one was MAA options, sold for a 25% gain. INOV sold for a 38.6% loss. ATVI sold for a 7% gain. FMACW, that is warrants, for a 76.5% gain. PCPWS, more warrants, sold for a 26.58% gain. IPOF sold for a 5.68% gain. And so that is an 83% win rate. 5 out of 6 picks. 17.03% gain per pick. So very good. A lot of those are longer holds. That's what we do in the premium room. So there's tons of mid to long-term holds within that room. Now let's go to the standard level. Holy cow, we sold a ton of stocks. Here we go. GDX sold for a 33.4% loss. That was a day trade that did not work out. SLV sold for a 67.3% gain. WFC sold for an 11.6% loss. TSLA sold for a 30.39% gain. That was a day trade. C sold for a 59.4% loss. MMEDF sold for a 10.73% gain. ACB sold for a 15.15% gain. CUE sold for an 11.5% gain. SIRC sold for a 159.89% gain. So that was a great one. AAL, which was a day trade, sold for a 50% gain. JUPW sold for a 2.64% gain. PLMR sold for a 2.58% gain. CVLB sold for a 3.23% loss. AMC, I tried to join the movement. That's what I get for joining a movement. Sold for a 51.1% loss. RQHTF sold for a 58.54% gain. CCL, which was a day trade, sold for a 5.2% loss. LPCN sold for a 58% loss. NIO sold for a 43% loss. GEVO sold for a 1.41% loss. XOM sold for a 253% gain. CLOV sold for a 44% gain. ATHX sold for a 4.14% gain. So some of those were options that you noticed that just had those huge gains, and some were just good old-fashioned stock. And so that was a total of 22 picks. 13 of those were successful for a 59% win rate. But an average gain per pick, this is including the losses, this is an average gain per pick of 21.67%. So that standard room was hot this week, did really well. All right, now let's go through the basic room and talk about everything that was in the top 7 list for this last week, which we had a fantastic week. But a lot of those stocks we still have, and so that should be kind of interesting. We will see those gains next week when we sell all of them and take our profits. All right, CUE sold for a 5.4% loss. YAYO sold for a 50.9% gain. TCON sold for a 4.42% gain. FAST sold for a 1.4% loss. AIRT sold for a 7.85% gain. AESE sold for an 8.23% loss. AUPH sold for a 4.16% loss. BSPK sold for a 14.5% loss. INTC sold for a 6.32% gain. FCEL sold for a 3.62% gain. PQEFF sold for a 3.69% loss. And BRO sold for a 3.2% gain. So that is 7 out of 13 for a 53.8% win rate, which the average win rate for me in 2020 was a little over 70%. My average gain per pick last year was right at 3%, and this week was at a 3.29 per pick. And so it's a little bit better because I had some big winners. All right, now let's get to the top 7 and others. Here we go. The very first one is YAYO. Still have this stock. This is rideshare rental, and on Friday it finished up 5.11%. This one has been up almost every day, and we are expecting news that this company will become listed on the NASDAQ, possibly either through a SPAC or other ways. And so far, since calling this out, it is up 30.33%. My average is $3 per share. All right, the next is ANIX. On Friday, this finished down 0.22%. My average in it's $3.90. Since calling this out, it is up 10.97%. Analysts have an average target price of $8.75, so there's plenty of upside here still left. And looking forward to great gains with ANIX. The next is MTEM, and on Friday this finished up 0.85%. My average in it's $13.27. Since calling this out, it is down 2.11%. Analysts have an average target price though of $20.14, and I'm expecting there to be some reason behind the insider activity, just gigantic insider activity by B-Flat Biotech, so expecting good things. All right, number 7 is VYNE, and we've had this one a little bit. On Friday this finished down 4.51%. My average in it is $2.49. Since calling this out, it is up 8.43%. Hopefully you got in on this when I called it out, and it's doing pretty well. Analysts have an average target price of $5.69, so more than 100% upside. So this should do great this next week. Number 6 is AXDX, and on Friday this finished up 13.29%. If you watched Friday's pre-market video, I really kind of foretold that this was going to happen. This is a really high short percentage, so I'm expecting a big squeeze. So it started to squeeze today. The short percentage is still very large on this. My average in it is $10.02, and since calling this out, it is up 19.86% since the insider activity. Analysts have an average target price of $12.33, and that's almost right at that price right now. But it has so much further to go, especially with the high short percentage. I think this can get squeezed all into the next week. I don't know why anyone would short this. Jack Schuler decided to blow up some shorts on his own by buying millions of dollars worth of shares in open market. All right, number 5 is SRGA, and this one has been a fantastic pick since the insider activity. Hopefully you got in on this early, and this has been great. On Friday, this finished up an additional 6.8%, so it's doing really, really well. My average in it is $1.90, and since calling this out, since the insider activity is up 43.16% and really going strong. Analysts have an average target price of $5 a share, so there's plenty of upside. I think that this one still has more to go. Number 4, and I got a little bit of a hard time on this on Friday in some of the comments, but I talked about this stock on January 27th is when this was added to the list. So hopefully you've had it all this time. This is CYTH, and on Friday this did finish down 20.99%. My average at $6.43, but since calling it out, since the insider activity, this stock is up 61.59%. So it's hard to complain about a stock that's up 61%, especially if you got in on it when it was first recommended. Should continue to do well. There's a catalyst coming next week, and a reason why I'm still in it. I held on through because I'm expecting actually news to be released next week when they go to conference. All right, number 3 is Harley Davidson. This one is brand new to the list. This is HOG. On Friday, this finished up 5.08%. 1.99%. My average in it's $34.59. Since calling this out, it is down 1.99%, but it just started. So this one is fresh. This would be a great one to get in on Monday. The CEO purchased $1 million worth of share at $32.47. And if you want to know about insider activity right when it happens, I recommend joining our Patreon group. We have a link down below and we have a Discord attached. If you are wanting great updates, that basic level is fantastic for that, for the small amount that it costs. You will easily make it up with one great trade, and a lot of these trades are really fantastic. If you decide to go to the standard room, it's well worth it. I thank all of you for all the support you give me. I really have one of the best Discords. I think the best Discords around. I really love how everyone really tries to help one another, and it's a great community of investors. All right, let's get to it. Number 2 is YTEN. This is YTEN, Yield 10 Biosciences. And on Friday, this finished up 20.16%. So this one did really terrific. This one is brand new to list. My average in it is $16.69 since calling this out, since insider activity was reported late last night. This is up 6.77%. We all tried to get in as cheap as we could, but you know, hey, we had to get in this thing. Jack Schuler buying $1.2 million worth of an offering, and the offering should be announced closed, and also a high analyst target of 21.25. All those things together make Yield 10, in my opinion, a very good investment. All right, number 1 is OTLK. This is Outlook Therapeutics. This finished up 21.79%. This one is brand new to the list. My average in it's $2.17. I'm down a little bit in it, down 2.76%, but I like it because Syntone Ventures purchased $3 million worth of shares in an offering that they recently had. And it was a large enough amount to see an insider go in that it makes me feel very confident that the price of the stock is going to move upwards and be a great short-term investment. So analysts have an average target price of $4.87, and I expect this one to do fantastic. I do a lot of work for this list, so if you could please do me a favor, please hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. Also, if you haven't done so before, please subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you get notified when one of these videos comes out. The insiders have been hot. Check out my channel for lots of great insider picks. As these insiders load up shares, we know that you can count on the price moving upwards. Anyway, let's have a fantastic week this next week. I hope all of you had a fantastic weekend, and Raythoven out.